Okay, so sitting nice and tall, and if it's helpful for you, you can place your hands on your belly, which is kind of a nice way to start to really connect to this way of breathing, because we usually don't let our bellies expand. We're very, very focused on keeping everything tight and pulled in, and that can be problematic. It creates tension unnecessarily. So just bringing the hands there if you're comfortable with that, and then just let your belly hang in your hands. Let it be soft. And when you breathe in, you're expanding that belly into the ribs, into the side body, all the way up into the lungs. And then as you exhale and gently squeeze the navel in and up towards the spine. So let's do that a few times. Inhale, expand, full lungs, full belly. Just to as deep as comfortable for you right now. And then exhale through the nose. Nice and slow and steady, and gently draw the navel up and in. And then again, inhale and expand the belly, the ribs, the chest. And exhale, gently draw in and up. And keep that going just a few more rounds. And what you're looking to do is to cultivate a slight sound, a snoring sound or oceanic sound that is at least audible to you, and if you were sitting next to someone, they might be able to hear you breathing. Good, just a couple more moments to settle in. Thinking about that water element, that water quality. Water is very nourishing, it's very adaptable. So the breath is going to be that carrier to nourish all the different parts of the body, the organs, the systems. It's one more round here. And also all our ligaments and joints and muscles. Okay, so then let's jump in now into that Nadi Shodhana. To keep it simple, we'll just take the hand right out in front of you, thumb facing towards your nose, and just block off the right nostril gently, right where the bridge, right where the bone meets that cartilage, just a very gentle compression there. And then inhale through that left side, nice and deep and full. You can use your ring finger to block off the left, hold the breath in, and then open up the right and exhale through the right side. Inhale through the right, block off right, and exhale left. Pause at the end of the exhale, inhale through the right side. Pause with the breath in, and exhale through the left. And then keeping that going, inhale left. And exhale right. Inhale right. Pausing. Exhale left. Pausing. Inhale left. it takes a few moments for the mind to settle down. But that's okay. Just keep doing this breath practice and your mind will start to favor the steadiness and the cadence of the breath. The breath being the anchor for the mind. Good, a couple more rounds here. Keep that going. Good to notice any tension you might have right now in the shoulders, relax them. The face is also a common place we hold tension, so relax the jaw and the face. Almost there. Do one more round and then finishing up, exhaling through your left nostril. And that is representative of the nadi, or the right side, or left side, sorry, of the body is the parasympathetic nervous system. The right side is more heating, the doing side, which is the sympathetic nervous system. So we'll finish up on the left side. And then just placing the hands together at the heart center to bring your awareness more down into the heart area rather than in the mind. We tend to get very heady. So we're dropping down out of the thinking and into the feeling. Also a beautiful gesture to honor the light that's within, also honoring the light that's within everyone. Maybe you want to dedicate your practice to something bigger and greater than yourself. Good. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. So let's place the hands right on top of the thighs, whether you're seated on the floor or seated in a chair. We're going to start with our neck here. So sit nice and tall. Make sure you're not slouchy and that you're not like this. You guys take a look. If you're pitching your chin forward, we don't want to do any neck stretches from this position. This is not an optimal position. So make sure the ears are stacked right over the shoulders the best you can. And then from there, you're going to look over the right shoulder, just as far over that feels comfortable for you. Don't force it beyond the boundary. We're just seeing how much mobility we have this morning, where you might feel tight. And then let's look over the left shoulder, same thing. Just notice which side has more range. Just allow and adapt and let your body adapt to the shape that you're asking. And then now let's bring on the breath. So we're going to go right back into that deep abdominal breathing. So as you inhale, full belly, full lungs, look over the right shoulder. And then as you exhale, look over the left shoulder and gently draw the navel in and up. Little squeeze at the end. And just continue that on your own. So the inhale takes you to one side. And the exhale takes you to the other side. So important to breathe with the movement. So just do the best you can. Just do that one more round. to the right and one more to the left. And then coming back through center. And now we'll do some flexion and extension of the neck. So keeping your chest lifted, your shoulders back and down. Just drop your chin towards the throat, just so you can feel that nice stretch in the back of your neck. And then as you inhale, we're gonna look up and just as far back as comfortable for you. Don't force it. And then exhale, squeeze the chin down towards the throat. So we'll do that on your own. Inhale as you look up and maybe a little bit further back each time. And then exhale, chin down towards the throat. So don't force beyond your body's comfortable range. This is increasing your awareness about what's going on in the body. And this movement is going to help nourish the cervical spine with the breath, with circulation. Let's do one more round. Good, and then coming right back up through neutral. Stay that neutral spine, keep the clavicles opening wide, and then just drop your left ear to left shoulder without doing this. Okay, keep the shoulders level and just drop your ear. Then if you want, you can stretch your right fingertips to the floor right alongside your hip to create a little more stretch in the neck. And then we'll go up and over to the other side, right ear to right shoulder, stretch those left fingertips to the floor. And then we'll do it with breath. Inhale up and over to one side. And exhale up and over to the other side. Good. A couple more times with breath. You might have woken up this morning with a little bit of a kink in the neck, or maybe you slept funny. Maybe you had a stressful day, last couple days maybe. And this all shows up in the body. One more time. The body does not lie. And then coming back up through center, and now we'll just take little circles. So with your nose being the guide, you're gonna just draw a circle right out in front of your face. I oftentimes use the clock as a way to describe this movement. So you're just moving around that clock, hitting every number. And this does not have to be a very big circle. In fact, if you're feeling some kind of malaise in the neck area, you can just keep this very small. And then let's reverse the circle, go the other way. Make sure you're still breathing with the movement, and inhaling halfway around that circle and exhale the rest of the way. With this intention of releasing and letting go. Good, and then we'll come back up through center. And now we're gonna move into the hips and the ribs area. So we're just gonna start to circle the spine. And you can get pretty dynamic with this. If you want, you can really press your chest forward into like more of a cow, and then dropping back and more of a cat back. So you're really getting more mobility through each and every vertebra. And I can feel this in my hips too. It's a nice stretch in the hips. Okay, let's reverse that circle, go the other way. Inviting in more nourishment. Up and down the spine. back up through center. Now we're going to inhale, lift the chest and let your head drop back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. This would be like a cat-cow that we're doing. This is cow. And then as you exhale, drop back. Navel towards the spine, chin towards the throat, round the spine. This would be your cat back. And then inhale, lift the chest, look up, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, drop back, navel towards the spine, chin towards the throat. And take that a few times on your own so you can really feel that upper back right in between the shoulder blades starting to loosen up. It's a chronic place. We hold so much tension there. And this feels really good. Well, one more round. And then when you're ready, you can sit nice and tall again. Just notice any change. And then we're going to move into some side bending here. So if you want, if you're seated in Sukhasana like I am, you can switch up your feet just so you have a different sensation. And then we'll take it right side, reach up out of that left waist. So if you're in a chair, this still works. You can hold onto the chair, reach up out of the left waist and stretch over. Just looking to open up the intercostal muscles, the ribs. This will allow deeper, fuller breath. You can look up if your neck feels good. You can keep it more neutral, looking straight ahead, or even down is a nice soft quality. Good, and then inhale, we're gonna come up and over to the other side. Exhale as you go into that bend. Breathe into those little spaces between your ribs. So interesting when you start to dive into the breath and the qualities of the breath. The breath pretty much tells you everything that's going on in your body, in your constitution, in your mind. It'll tell you what's happening. You feel anxious, you feel stressed, it shows up in how you're breathing. Okay, let's take this into a flow. Inhale up, full lungs. Exhale over, empty out, fully. And then inhale, full lungs. Exhale, empty out, complete. Do this a couple times, and you might be going slower or faster than I am if your breath pattern is a little different. So just find your own dance here with your breath. Inhale lifts you. Exhale drops you into that stretch. Now it becomes more like a meditation. Inhale up and exhale over. Just finding that nice wave-like quality, the ocean. There's no break in the movement. It just keeps going, just like a wave as it comes in. Another one comes right behind it. Good. We'll just do one more round, side to side. Finding a softer quality. Okay, last one. And then right back up. Very good. Let's interlace the hands behind your back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can drop your chin in a little bit to stretch more in the lower part of the neck. More of that C7 area. Hold so much stress there. Good, and then release the arms. You're gonna sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Reach up and interlace the hands and just turn them inside out. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. So now you're really stimulating that breast channel here, the lymphatic, all those important glands that are right there in the armpit area, around the breast, upper chest. And we want to keep that flowing, no stagnation. And then from here, we're going to sweep that right arm underneath the left, cross at the elbows, and then if you can, wrap and twist and bring the palms together. If you're feeling pretty tight and can't quite get that wrap, just bring the back of the hands together, or you can even reach for opposite shoulder blades and just pull down. So something for everybody. Just meet yourself where you are right now. Squeeze down into the chest, lift the chest towards the arms. And if you're with me here, I'm going to use my right arm underneath that left and just pull it over towards the right and look over towards the left. And now if that shoulder is touching your chin, pull the shoulder down so you can really feel that right in that medial part of the shoulder. Really good stretch. And then come back to center. We're going to open up to cactus on the inhale, open wide, full lungs. And then sweep that left arm underneath the right, cross, wrap, and twist. Find your stretch there, squeeze down, lift the chest. And then start to use that left arm as a hook, and it's going to pull that right arm across the body, looking over towards the right. Whoa, good stretch. Make sure you're breathing into that. Let's take one more breath here. Maybe exhale through the mouth. Nice, and then come back to center, open wide. Good, you guys. And then let's uncross the legs. You can stretch those legs out into a wide little straddle here. Flex the toes. Make sure that you have good energy in your legs for this one. You can take your hands back behind you if this is particularly challenging for you. The goal here is to keep your spine long, not to round it. For this variation, sometimes we do round and that's okay, but right now let's firm the legs, keep the spine long, sit tall, and then if you can maintain that long spine, bring the hands forward, maybe deepening the stretch a little bit. So I'm going to take one blanket away because I don't need that much height, but some of you might need that extra height. And bring the hands in front, and then maybe this is it for you today. Just breathe through it. You're going to really feel that in the inner thighs here. Connects down to the knee. And then if you want, you can start to deepen it. But again, this is not a competition at all. This is a way to heal, to care for yourself. Yoga doesn't want you to be different than you are. It doesn't want you to be more flexible and stronger, all of that. It just wants to take care of you, that's all. And I'm going to take it just a little bit deeper, but you might be at your edge, so just stay where you are. Breathe through it. Let's stay here 2 more breaths. Lift the chest a little bit more if you find yourself rounding. Yeah, lift that sternum up. Press it forward. Toes facing up towards the ceiling. Firm legs. Very good, you guys. And then come right back up through center. And let's slide the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. And then I'm going to keep this a little bit of a wider shape. So I'm not going to pull in real tight. Just keep it more like a diamond shape. And then just come forward and down to your own degree. Might not be far, or you might be able to put your nose right in your feet. Good, let's do one more breath here. Listen for the sound of the breath. Create that little vibration. And then we'll come back up. Very nice. Off to a good start, yes? Let's take the blankets, and if you're using them, we'll place them off to the side. And then we're going to come into tabletop. And we're just going to open up our shoulders, our wrists. This is all for you office people, computer people. Bring your fingers to face them out to the side, and you want your heels of the hands to be closer to the edges of your mat, so kind of wide. And then we're going to shift side to side. I love this one. We do this one a lot, as you guys know. there's probably a select, a group of postures that I like to do every time we practice, because they just really help us to stay healthy. And it kind of offers a antidote for a lot of the negative habits we get into with our posture. Let's go side to side one more time. That feels so good. And then let's turn the hands now to face all the way back towards the knees. I know this one's a little stronger. You can always walk your knees in a little bit to make it more accessible. And then as you're ready, you can walk your knees back. But just find your place here. Very good. And then I like the movement of going forward and back a little bit. Just a little bit of rocking forward and back. And you can also just hold it static if that's better for you. That breath steady. Good. Okay, let's turn the hands back around. And then we're going to move to the toes. Bring your knees and your feet together, curl the toes under. This is also one of those ones we do all the time. Push back and forth. Start to open up those toes and all those intricate muscles and tendons and ligaments all in the feet. And then if it's comfortable for you, you can just hang back there, squeeze the heels together. Maybe some of you stay right there, or you can sit right on top of the heels, just whatever is comfortable for you. And then if you're hands-free, you can circle the shoulders up and back. And if you want to be hands-free but can't quite sit back all the way, you can stand on the knees with your toes curled under and do those shoulder rolls too. So there's lots of options. And then we can roll the shoulders forward. So just getting that natural rotation. And then go up and back again one more time. Very nice. And then release. Come forward onto the hands. Tap out those toes. And then separate your knees. This time the width of your mat. Big toes come together to touch. And then just bring your hips towards your heels. Now stay here with your hands forward. Your hips and your legs are like a child's pose shape. Bring your right hand and put it right in the center. Okay, left hand is going to come to the back of your head. This is going to open up the thoracic area, you guys. So we're going to bring that left elbow towards the right elbow. And then as you inhale, open that elbow out to the side. And then as you exhale, bring them back together. So do that a few times. Inhale, open. Just as far open that's comfortable. Press into that right hand. And exhale, elbows together. And keep that going. Inhale as you open. Exhale as you tap. You can even bring your elbow towards your knee if you can get more range. Everyone's going to be a little different. Let's do 2 more rounds. Opening and closing. The inhale will support the opening. The exhale will support the closing. Okay, last one. Very good. And then we'll take the other side. Left hand down, right hand to the back of the head. Let's start with the elbows together. And then inhale, open wide. Now this side's a little tighter for me, so I'm not going to go as wide. Let that happen gradually. Okay, inhale, open. Exhale, close. Couple more. This is a very sticky area on our body, right? We get so sticky, glued in those tissues and the muscles, all the density. Very good. Last one, you guys. Nice. And then we'll just take a child's pose. We're already halfway there. Forehead on the floor, relax the elbows. And take 3 deep belly breaths here. And see if you can send the breath laterally into the ribs, into the side body. We're trying to create more space in that area. Okay, guys, let's come on up into tabletop, hands and knees. And then let's move through a few cat-cows here. So inhale, lift up across the chest, look for that nice back bend. And then exhale, round the spine. Drop your tail, drop your sit bones, and puff up the back. And just find your own little cadence here. Inhale and exhale. Your focus here is to try to pull that breath down deep into the lower lobes of the lungs, which, by the way, is where we access the receptors for parasympathetic nervous system. So we want to breathe deeper and fuller. You notice when we get stressed, what happens? We shorten our breath. And that is where the receptors are for the sympathetic nervous system. So that makes sense. Good. And then on your next exhale, let's curl the toes and lift your hips up and back into dog pose. If you feel really tight this morning, take a wider stance. Bring your feet out a little wider. Bend the knees as much as you need to, but keep your spine nice and long. I love down dog. It's such a nice way to just calm the nervous system, dropping that head down below the heart. Not to mention, it's probably one of the best shoulder stretches and hamstring stretches. Let's take one more breath. And then we're going to walk the hands back towards that space between your feet. And you can take Malasana, squat pose. If you're not going all the way down into the deepest squat here, you can just modify. Bring the hands on the inside of the knees, push the knees out. You're just looking for some space in the low back, and also really nice to open up the digestive system, keep everything moving freely. Unfortunately, sitting in chairs is not optimal for our digestive system. Kind of like pinches off the hose, where Malasana opens it up. Good. Let's take the hands down now, lift the hips up, walk your feet in so that they're hip distance. And this is where you might need your blocks, you guys. So if you want to take those blocks and place them underneath your hands, just bring the floor a little closer to us. Sometimes we need that. Otherwise, you can bend your knees as much as needed to keep your spine nice and free. And then let's flow through Ardha Uttanasana into Uttanasana. So that's halfway lift on the inhale, and then exhale, deeply fold. Okay, so inhale, I'm going to place my hands in front of my shins, right on my shins, and lift my chest away from my thighs. Notice my neck is long and free. And then exhale, fold in a little deeper. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Pulling that breath down deep. Exhale, fold in. 2 more times. Inhale, lift. Reaching out of the waist. Exhale, fold. Last one. Inhale, maybe a little deeper. And exhale, fold. Good. Hands on your hips. Press down through the feet and come up with a nice flat back. And then relax the arms alongside the body. Good. And then take the fingertips right on top of the shoulders, elbows wide. And we're going to move through some shoulder circles. So inhale together and up. Exhale back and down. So just making big circles with your elbows. I like to go a little slower with this one. It's like a shoulder yawn. And then let's go the other way. Elbows sweep out, up, and forward and down. Good, last one. Just enjoy this time spent with yourself. Let's relax the arms, shake it out. Good, let's come up to the top of the mat, wherever that is for you. I need to adjust myself with my beautiful plant there. And then separate the feet about hip distance apart. We want Tadasana here, foundational pose. And see if you can really establish a connection with your feet. Spread the toes, anchor down through the big toe, the little toe, and then the inner and the outer heel. So we want to connect to the four corners of our feet here. And then on your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up like you're moving through thick liquid, nice and slow. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Circle the arms out and up on the inhale. We're just connecting to breath here. Hands to heart on the exhale. Good. Inhale, reach out and up, stay here. Now as you exhale, bring your right arm back, left arm forward into a twist. See if you can look towards the right thumb. And then inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, left arm back, right arm forward. See if you can look towards that, what is that right finger? And then inhale up. And exhale, twist. So just moving to the right and moving to the left a couple more times. And what I'd like you to do is think of only moving from the ribs and not the hips. So the hips stay square towards the front as you twist. Try it one more time to either side with that in mind. Again, that's targeting that thoracic area. Very dense. Good. Then inhale, up, up, up. And exhale, bend your knees, come down all the way into a forward fold. Lift up, inhale, halfway. And then exhale, fold. Let's all step back to plank pose, upper push-up position. And I'm going to have you bring your feet all the way together. And we're going to circle. We're going to roll through the toes, press through the heels. Roll through the toes, press through the heels. And just get your hips to make this little circle. Just invoking again more of that water quality in the body. Nourishing aspect. It's the softest element, right? It's the softest element, but yet it's the strongest element. Very adaptable. Rigidity, that tells us, right? Rigidity is not the same as strength. That's not the same thing. Being soft is strong. Okay, let's bring the knees down. And then we're going to go into a thread the needle. So separate your knees about outer hip distance apart, and then bring your right arm up towards the ceiling. See if you can twist from the heart. And then exhale, thread it right behind the left. Tap the shoulder, tap your head, And then come back up again. Inhale, open to the right. Exhale, thread, tap, reach. Good, once more like that. Inhale, open. And then exhale, we'll stay down now. So reach that arm way underneath you. Get on the back of that right shoulder. Use your left hand as help here, support here. Move your left hip back in space and twist from that mid-spine. Make sure the breath is free and easy. Very good. And then we're going to come back up, finish up, twisting to the right on the inhale. And then land that right hand down on the exhale. Okay, left side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, thread and tap. Inhale, open up. Exhale, thread. One more time. And then we'll stay down. Reach way underneath you. Try to get on the back of that shoulder. Head is resting. Use your right fingertips to help you out here, to leverage. Move your right hip back and twist. It's like you're trying to twist out of the pose. I would say the main thing is that you don't want to collapse on that bottom arm. You actually want to push against the floor, so it helps to facilitate more of that twist. Good, you guys. Then very gently come on up and we'll open back up to the left on the inhale. And then land your hands down on the exhale. Let's circle the hips around, forward, out to the side. Then everybody inhale through the nose and exhale through your mouth. Maybe let out some noise, a sigh. And then let's move the other direction. I like this idea that yoga is actually the secret weapon to everything you do in life. And that is true. Athletes will even tell you that. Professional athletes, this is what they do. Good. Let's make your way now all the way down onto your belly. And we'll come into Sphinx pose. So just create like a letter H, capital letter H, or 11, the number 11, with your arms. Okay, elbows underneath the shoulders, fingers are spread. And then I want you to think of lifting the ribs up and stretching your toes back. Isometrically dragging the hands back towards your hips as you lift the chest forward towards the fingers. You're really going to feel that if you apply those little subtleties. Okay, so now we're going to do the shoulder opener, and I want to make sure I preface this right. This is pretty therapeutic for the shoulder, but you got to make sure you get all the little key points about it. Coming down onto the belly, I'm going to reach my left arm out to the side. Okay, so I want my hand down, palm facing down, in line with the shoulder, not too high, not too low. And then I'm going to walk that hand away, directly out. Press into the fingertips and roll the hips to stack. Gently pull that shoulder blade down towards the back pocket. Let your head rest. So that might be enough for you, or some of you might want to take that right leg up and take it all the way over. Maybe the toe taps on the floor. Maybe your foot lands, your knee points up. And notice if your mind, right, is hijacking you right now. It's not a matter of if it's going to happen, it's just a matter of when that happens. And just notice it. Just notice it and then say, oh, I'm thinking about what happened yesterday. Let me bring myself back to this moment. Or you're thinking about what you have to do when you leave, right? So just stay present. And then let's come back onto the belly. And then we'll take that right arm out, reach it. And stack or take a deeper twist if you want. So even though we're focusing more on that water quality, in these postures where we hold them longer, you're not moving, but your breath still is moving, just like an ocean wave. Let's take one more breath here. And then come back onto your belly nice and gently. Shalabhasana. Bring the arms all the way back alongside the body. And then inhale, lift everything you can up off the floor. And then exhale, nice and slow and controlled as you come down. Okay, a couple more times like that. Inhale brings you up, up, full lungs. Exhale, nice and slow as you empty out and deflate. 2 more times. Inhale, maybe one more vertebra lift, maybe your thighs lift. And then exhale, lower down. Good, creating strength in your spine. Inhale one more time, come up. And then exhale, come down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Let's push on back to a child's pose. And then from child's pose, let's do a little more side body opening, which I love. Reach the arms forward, hips way back. And then walk your hands over towards the right with all that length. You're reaching away from the hips, especially that left hand. You want to reach that away from your left hip. Breathe and stay present. Come back through center, renew that beautiful length, and then walk over to the other side with all that length you've created. Good, you guys come on back through center and then inhale up into table. And now we're going to step our right foot forward in between our hands. So this is where you might want to use those blocks. Grab my blocks. Please make sure that your knee is right over the ankle for this variation. Okay, hands to frame your right foot, maybe on blocks, maybe on fingertips. But I want you to think of lifting the chest up here and allowing that back hip, that left hip, to just kind of come forward. Oh, what a great hip flexor stretch. Go back to breath. Harmonizing new space in the body. It's just a game of adaptability. And then let's come on back into Ardha Hanuman, which is a hamstring stretch. Flex your toes, bring the blocks in just a little bit closer so they're more underneath your shoulders, and then lift the chest and flex those toes. Good, and then come back through that low lunge. Now walk your foot over towards the right just a little bit more, and bring your hands now on the inside of your foot. And now we have a lizard, so just let the hips come forward a little bit deeper in the inner thighs, you'll notice. So take it easy, take it slow. You might be more comfortable upright and supported, or you might have a little more range to bring your forearms down on blocks or on the floor. So just find yourself in a place that's most nourishing for you. But try not to round the spine here. That's the trick. Lift the chest. Oh yeah. That makes all the difference. And whether your hands are on the floor, on blocks, or you're on your forearms, it doesn't matter. We're gonna move into a twist. So you're gonna keep the weight on your left forearm or hand, and then bring your right hand to your waist. And start to move the crown of the head forward as you twist through that mid-spine. Maybe you reach the right arm up towards the ceiling and lean back to open up more. Now this is only an option for some. You might want to bend your back knee and catch your toes for a little deeper stretch. That's not for everybody, so don't worry. It's a yoga buffet, you guys. You take what's nourishing, take what you want, and just leave the rest. Good. If you have the foot, you can release it, and then we will all come up to the hands. And then from here, we're going to take another hamstring stretch, but in a different shape. Your foot's a little further out. Just shift back from there and pull your toes back. So now it's just a little different angle. You'll feel that in a different place of the leg. Using blocks or not, whatever is comfortable. Good, and then let's release out of there. Walk your foot back into the center, framing your foot with your hands. Curl your back toes under, lift up your thigh. And then all you're going to do, maybe your hands are on blocks here, all you're going to do is start to move that right leg a little straighter as you press the left heel down. The toes might even lift up. Good. And then inhale, bend your right knee, drop your left knee, lift the chest. Exhale, lift and straighten, maybe roll to the heel of that right foot. And just do that a couple times on your own. Inhale, knee down, lift the chest. Exhale, straighten, float those toes back. Let's do one more time. Make sure the breath is with you. Good. Then from there, we're going to take a quarter turn to the center. You can take your blocks with you. So now you're in a center-wide stretch here. And then just sink all the way over to one side, your back foot, your left foot, it would be, I think. And then up and over to the right, so bend and straighten, and just go back and forth. This is called Skandasana. It really gets into those inner thighs. Be careful of the knee here. You want to make sure the knee's pushing out and not letting it sickle in towards the big toe. And then from here, we're going to take a nice center stretch here. You can keep your hands on blocks. You can soften your knees. Or you can remove the blocks and come all the way down onto the forearms and take a headstand. That's not for everybody, but some people might feel so inclined. Or you can stack up the blocks and put your forehead on it, which is also nice. So just getting some kind of an inversion. Let's take one more breath here. Exhale through the mouth. Very good. And then releasing that. We're going to go back to the front of the right toes here. Walk over towards the right. Turn your right toes to face forward. And then move your blocks off to the side and step back into downward facing dog. So some of you might need a little more movement now. You can take a vinyasa just to neutralize, or you can just stay in down dog or even child's. So inhaling to plank if you're with me in movement. Bend the knees, exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale into cobra pose, wrap those shoulders back and down. Exhale, lower down, push back through child's. And then back into down dog, where we will all meet. Deep, full breath here. And then let's take those knees back down. We'll step that left foot forward. Right in between the hands, use your blocks. And then lift up across the chest. Allow that right hip to come forward and down. Breathe deeply. Good. And your body tells quite the story, doesn't it? It'll tell you everything you've been doing. And then let's come back into half split, flex your toes, lift the chest, remember. And allow the breath to surround the movement here, to surround the sensation. Release out of there, come forward, and now walk your foot over towards the left and bring your hands on the inside into that lizard. Maybe you're on blocks, or maybe you're come all the way down to the floor. Your forearms, or maybe you're using blocks on the forearms there, forearms on the blocks. And then we'll move into a twist. So now that left hand is going to come to the waist. I'm going to reach out through the crown of my head, because you never want to twist a compressed spine. So make sure you're lengthening out before you twist. And then you can reach that arm up if you'd like. Maybe you stay there, maybe you bend the back foot up, catch the toes. It's just something for everybody. There's no competition. You have to really consider your body, what it's been through. You might have a different prescription. There we go. We'll release that foot if you have it. And then keep your foot facing out a little bit towards the left, and then shift back into that different shape, that different version of hamstring. Blocks are great. They just really provide a little bit more lift and support. I like these different angles here because it really gets into inner thigh a little bit more. Get pretty tight there. Okay, that's enough of that one. Let's come forward. And then we'll walk the foot back in towards the center, frame your foot. Curl your back toes under, lift up that back knee. Okay, then we're gonna move towards a little straighter leg, press through the right heel, maybe lift those left toes up, maybe not. And then bend your left knee, let that right knee come down to the floor, lift the chest. And exhale, straighten, toes back if you can, if not, that's okay. We're just taking a nice steady flow here with the breath. Inhale and exhale. This definitely is a really nice way to practice. It helps to balance out all of the stronger activities that we do. Okay, let's take a quarter turn to the right now. Bring the blocks with you. And come all the way into that left hip, or right hip rather, sorry. Right hip, bend your right knee. And then up and over to the left. And again, we have Skandasana, moving back and forth. So as a variation, you could stay with this with your hands on blocks or on the floor. Or you can take your hands away and then you can float your opposite toes up. Now this is definitely more challenging. It uses more muscles that you probably didn't know you had. So you could try that, or you could just keep your hands down on blocks for support. Good. And then come back to center, bring your hands on your hips and come on up. And then let's interlace the hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders to open. And then we're going to dive down and lift the arms up and over your head. Hips high, head down. Then from there, just release the hands towards the earth. Hands on your hips and press down to come up. Woo! And then let's bring our feet so that they're a little bit wider than our hips and arms out. So if you look, you can eye the alignment here. We want wrist and heels or ankles kind of close in line. And then turn your right toes to face out. Good. And then lengthen from your waist and come right into Trikonasana. So we're going to reach up. We're pretty much prepared for this. Our legs, we did a lot of stuff to open up our legs. But I do want to mention, you guys, you want to push and spread the energy, your weight, into your toes. You don't want to hang in that right heel. That will put too much pressure on your knee or your ankle, or both. So really put the pressure into those toes and then reach long across the arms. Good. Then on your inhale, press into the feet. Come on up. And then exhale, reverse back. And stay here. About a breath or two here. And then we'll take Warrior Two. So bend that right knee. And then I'm going to give you some options here. We're going to take that right forearm on the thigh, reach that left arm up, and then wrap that left arm around the base of the spine here. So this is a good place to work. You could stay right here. Some of you might want a little deeper shoulder opener, so you can dive down underneath and maybe catch your fingers, your wrist, and then open up the chest. So that's definitely a little stronger. You can just stay with that first stage. But again, everybody's a little different, so I want to offer a lot of different modifications. Okay, if you have that full wrap, you can release, and then everybody will come up, straight legs and arms. Good. Turn your right toes in, turn your left toes out. Firm the legs. push into those toes. Don't let the toes lift and hang in your heel. Make sure the feet are very connected like Tadasana. Lengthen from your waist and then bring that hand down, top arm up. Triangle pose. Use your core strength. Press into your feet and lift up. And then exhale, reverse back. Stay for 2 breaths here. It's really nice. Good. Warrior 2. And then forearm on the thigh. And you can go into that half wrap or full wrap. Just leave that up to you. Maybe you try both. Good, you guys. Then release and inhale, come up. Woo! And then heel ball your feet in. Heel ball, heel ball, heel ball. And then bring the hands to the heart. Take a moment to recalibrate your breath, see how you feel. So much more space in the body, more space in the mind. Okay, let's do some balancing. Let's shift the weight to the right leg and then spin your left knee out to the side. Maybe you use a wall today if you feel a little challenged with your balance. Otherwise, start to lift that foot up and place it on the inside of the ankle or all the way up into the upper inner thigh. Hands to the heart, and then when you're ready, open up your tree. And what I'd like you to do is just to get a little bit of a sway going, kind of like you have a breeze moving through your branches, just a little sway. Just helps us not to be so rigid when we're balancing. Go with it. Trees do move, don't they? They have an anchor, and then everything else just flows. Good, and then we'll release, hands to the heart. Take a moment to reconnect back to the breath. And then go to the other side. We won't think about it too much, just get right into it. And arms reach, and then when you have your balance, you can start that nice gentle flow, nice gentle breeze. If it starts to get too windy, you can always just place your foot down, recalibrate, and then come back. It is kind of amazing though how much you can actually move and never lose your balance, right? You can really get moving. So trust your standing foot, trust it. Good, you guys. And then we'll release out of that, hands to the heart. Take a nice, deep, full breath. Exhale through the mouth. And then let's step up to the top of the mat. We'll take a little vinyasa to the floor. On your inhale, reach out and up and take a nice little back bend there if that feels good for you. Exhale, dive forward and down. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Step back to plank pose. And this time we're going to go down into forearm plank. So it's a little bit stronger. Press down to the forearms, squeeze the elbows in slightly, so energetically they're pulling in for stability. And your hips are not too high, but they're also not sagging. So a nice flat back. Really good for shoulder stability and strengthening here, as well as the core. And let's just hold for 3 more breaths. If you're shaking, good for you. That means you're building strength. 1 more breath. And And then very gently release your hips and thighs, uncurl the toes, come back into Sphinx. And then lower all the way down to your belly. So now I'm going to offer, interlace the hands behind the back, and lift everything up. If you can't quite do that, you can use a strap, or you can use a blanket or towel, or just bring the arms alongside the body if that's better for you. Hold here for another full breath. And then release down. Good. From here, just stack your hands underneath your forehead. Bend your knees and just windshield wiper your legs side to side. So you can choose to do that one again. It's a really nice one, and use a strap or a towel, or interlace your hands. Or some of you might be ready for bow. So you can bend the knees and grab your toes, and then when you're ready, you can inhale and kick up, opening up the chest, massaging your organs. This is so, so healthy. Good, and then we'll release down. Very nice. Let's push back into child's pose. And then we'll take a seat on your mat. And then I'm going to just hang back here, bring your arms back here, support. Bring your feet to the width of your mat. And then just allow your knees to drop to one side. And then up and over to the other side. So we're just windshield wipering the knees side to side. Feels really good in the low back, especially after back bends. Now you can stay with that, or you can try with me. I'm going to sit up a little taller and take my hands away. And this is a little bit more challenging with range of motion. So you can just go side to side with your hands away. It's kind of tricky, so if you can't quite get it, just bring your hands for support, no problem. But this is, really interesting. It has to do with your hip flexors, core strength, of course. Everything has to do with core strength. Good. It's kind of fun. Okay, and then we'll release out of that. And let's make our way now all the way down, but I want you to do this with control. Really hollow out the front body, navel towards the spine. One vertebra at a time, and then hug your knees into your chest. We'll do frog circles. Circle the knees out and around and back together. And then go the other direction. Good. Now hug that right knee in, extend your left leg long, squeeze into the right hip. And then let's circle in that right hip. So we're just juicing up that hip joint. Connecting again to the waters in the body. And go the other direction. I love that saying you guys have all heard, motion is lotion, right? That's pretty much what we're talking about here, lubricating the joints. Aging is the process of drying out, so we want to keep ourselves supple, lubricated, juicy. And we do that through movement, through breath, through relaxing exercises. Okay, squeeze down through the right hip, last time. And then release that right leg up and all the way down. Let's go to the left side, interlace. Squeeze into that left hip and then start circling in that hip joint. We want to stay with with more of the qualities of the bamboo, right? The bamboo is very strong and bends. Not an old dead branch that's dried out and snaps. We want to be more like bamboo. Okay, squeeze down into the left hip and then release the left leg up and all the way down. Good, and then we're going to bend up the knees, soles of the feet down, and let's come into bridge. You can walk your shoulders a little closer together, walk them underneath you, and then maybe interlace the hands and press down into the foundation of this pose, which is the back of the head, the back of the arms, wrist, forearms, and the feet. And then everything else moves away from that base. Hold here for 2 full breaths. Good, and then releasing, try to place one vertebra down at a time so you have a deeper connection to your spine. Nice, and then we're gonna do that one more time, or those of you that wanna do full wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana, you're welcome to do that. Feet flat, toes facing forward. Come up onto the back of your head and then push all the way up into full wheel, bow pose. Urdhva means upward facing. Dhanurasana is bow. So Urdhva Dhanurasana, or just doing bridge, is perfect. Hold there for 2 more breaths, wherever you are. Good, and then see if you can release slowly, again, connecting to top and to the bottom of your spine. And then happy baby pose is a really nice one to finish after that. So just flex your feet up towards the ceiling and reach up for your maybe ankles, maybe shins, maybe it's the feet. But you want to hold on to the place that you can really get more space and length to your spine. Your tailbone drops down, your chin drops in, getting each and every vertebra a little flatter, improving the length of our spine. Okay, good, you guys. Then release the legs. And then let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. Flex your foot. And you can either just stay right here and glue the small of your back down. So take away that natural curve. And then push that knee away. So that's a nice way to open up the front of the hip. You could stay there for a bit. And then you can interlace the hands beyond your left thigh. And go into a little deeper, a little stronger, more towards the outer hip, and towards the back. Please exhale longer in these hip openers. That will really help to open up and release that tension. So use your exhale. Take that figure 4, stay in that figure 4 shape, and just drop now all the way over, landing your left knee and your right foot down onto the floor. So you can grab a hold of that foot if you want and reach that opposite arm out, pushing that knee away from your body. From here, just take your knees to stack Maybe pull them up a little bit so they're more of a 90-degree angle and go into a little deeper twist. Relax, relax. Okay, let's come back up through center and then we'll take the other side. Left ankle, cross over the right knee, flex your foot. Glue the back down and press the knee away. Hold for a couple breaths there. It's a really nice one. And then as you're ready, if you're ready, you can also stay right here. Or you can interlace right beyond your right thigh. Keep your left foot flexed though, please, because that's going to help protect your knee. And then enjoy that nice outer hip stretch. Longer exhales, relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your mind. Taking the right foot down, stay in that figure 4 shape, and just drop all the way over to the right. Holding onto the foot if it's available, if not, that's okay. Just keep your foot and knee close together. And reach that left arm out to the side. This one feels so good. For me, it's given us the antidote to all the sitting we do. Okay, awesome. Let's take a twist. Just stack your knees. Bring your knees so they're more in line with your hips. And then open up that chest more. Hi, Shyla. So nice, you guys. Then go ahead and come on back to your back. You could take the soles of the feet together, open up the knees out wide, or just lie with your legs out in front of you. You can also roll up a blanket and place it underneath your knees, or a pillow or a bolster to support your low back. You made it. I hope you guys feel amazing. Feeling a little bit freer in your bodies. It's really what we're doing, right? We're just doing a flow that makes us feel a little better in our body as we travel through our day. Coming from a relaxed, calm place. Let go of all the effort, even your breath, just let the breath be natural. And give yourself a little time here to let your body just absorb and to process all the information you just gave it. So give it a little time before you rush off into your day. But I'm going to officially end the class. Please feel free to lie there in Shavasana a little bit longer. Placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, just to have this moment of great gratitude for this body, for this practice. Namaste to everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful weekend.